Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine and today we'll be doing a message for the sign of Sagittarius. As always, Sagittarius, all of the readings, they are timeless. The cats are going haywire. So whenever the message finds you and resonates, then it is yours at the time in which you find it. Sagittarius, I've done your spread today with my, the usual. The Ethereal Visions Tarot, the Dreamscape Oracle, and the Luna Tarot, all blended into one. All of them by Hughes. I'm sure you can hear the playing that is going on in the background. The very interesting playing. There's been a lot of talk in the moon readings about how adding an element of playfulness will lead into exploration. And in that exploration, like, everything really just like opens up. So kind of running along the lines with play, there has been a musical element, I think almost, well, at least as far back as I can remember, in the Sagittarius readings. And if I'm not mistaken, the last Sagittarius reading was talking about your song finally being picked up by someone and broadcasted, like on the radio. And of course, we can take that metaphorically or quite literally, maybe perhaps you are well, what is coming through, at least in this reading, is let's see, what is these? is a conductor, like a conductor of music. I don't think it's coming. I think my season's gone away. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So it looks very similar to that type of reading, to the previous reading, except for here, it's very much like you are in your process. You're in your process of building a song or building a musical composition, something along those lines. There's a lot of orchestra that is coming into view here as well. So let's just go ahead and get started and see how it unfolds. At the bottom of the deck, for your underlining energy, we have the star. I get so excited. Oh, lovely. The world too is underneath that. It's very funny because we have the other world card here at the end of your reading. So it's like an emphasis on the world. Which is interesting here because it feels like you're actually like solitary. Like you're perhaps like in your own space, creating your own music. And we have the world card here twice. So it's kind of like, it's telling me that there's an audience. There's an audience that is, it's almost like they're just outside your door. They're just outside your door and it's almost like they're waiting for, well, I guess it's like your release. All right. All right, so at the bottom of the deck. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have the star. And she has been threading herself throughout the entire, all of the readings lately in Virgo season. And she's coming through with the energy of being very comfortable in your expression, in your vulnerability, in your showcasing. So even if you are kind of like holed up in a room by yourself creating your music, there's a sense that you're incredibly open to your own process. Like there's no energy that is within you or outside of you that is blocking this creational process. It's coming through as something that is very pure. It's a pure sound. There's no distortion to any of this. So it's a really gorgeous energy to be in, especially when you're creating musical elements, because whatever you're creating is actually being imbibed with the star energy. So it's like once that audience that is waiting outside the door hears this, there's a healing and a rejuvenation, restoration type of effect that your music is going to have on your future audience. Okay, that's really stunning. So let's look at the bridge and see what energies are assisting you in the way making is what I'm okay. All right. So on the bridge we have this Eight of Wands. And this is coming through as, because the energy, because you're here kind of holed up in your room, and then there's an energy that is coming out. All right, hang on 1 second. So this Eight of Wands here it typically always talks about an alert or a message that needs to be delivered very, very quickly. Sometimes it comes through with a warning, but here actually it's referring to, it's almost like the people that are outside of your door that are waiting for your release, whatever they want to see what you're producing. And what I'm seeing here is that it's like someone has gone to the keyhole and they're like trying to peer through the keyhole, or they're trying to put like a little mic or something underneath the door so they can hear or see what you're doing, and then like at least be able to deliver some type of little snapshot so that people can see your progress. And what's interesting is that this actually kind of looks like you. It kind of looks like maybe a part of you that is delivering this little, it's coming through as like a little snapshot. Like a teaser or something like that. Like yeah, like a teaser video or like a teaser soundbite, something that will entice the audience to, it's building, it's kind of like with this energy here of this Eight of Wands, it's building it's building anticipation. That's what it's doing. Okay, so you're successfully building anticipation for whatever you're creating in this hold up space of yours. It's almost like the audience is kind of like, has gotten to a point where they're like, what is Sagittarius doing? I haven't seen Sagittarius in a while. What are they doing? What exactly are they doing? So it's like your disappearance into your work has caused people to start to question your whereabouts. And when they finally find out where you are, there's a lot of excitement that is building because they're noticing these little snapshots. And so it's building anticipation for you to kind of come out and show and really show them what you've been working on. All right. It's really gorgeous. Okay, so let's see the overall energy for Sagittarius. So it's already come out, but I just looked at the bottom of the deck because I'm just curious. And we have the Raven. The Raven made a really big presence in the Capricorn reading. So if you have a Capricorn that's in your life, or Capricorn in your chart, they're making an appearance here. All right, so for the overall energy, we have the Six of Swords. This is very interesting. Just looking at the dynamic here on the table. All right. This overall energy is, it's looking to me like this is perhaps the audience, actually. The audience that is, well, what's very interesting is if you're in this state, this super vulnerable, allowing your process to just flow purely out of you, it's attracting people who need this type of it's coming through as like rehabilitation. They need this type of rehabilitation because wherever they were at formerly is no more. And so they're actually on a pathway towards a new place that would give them ease of mind. And so here comes a snapshot of what you're doing, and it's like it's kind of stopping them. It's so they're on their way somewhere, and your message or snapshot or sound bite, whatever that may be presented as, is pulling their attention. Do you see how it's pulling their attention away from wherever they're going. How many swords does he have in here? He's got, okay, he does have 6. Sometimes they're separated, but it's pulling his attention away from wherever he's headed, and it's bringing them closer to the shoreline. So in a sense, it's bringing them out of waters that might be really choppy and onto stable ground. So your message, the message in the music, that was a Cancer reading. The message, the soundbite, whatever that is helping to ground. It's like it's helping to ground people's mental state. They've already decided to kind of leave that place behind, but it's acting as an assist. It's assisting them. Okay. All right. So, going into, now I'm seeing how it's relating to the spread. Going into your reading, you're presented as the Hierophant, which is, the Hierophant is it's an earthy energy, so it is a grounding force. What I'm seeing here is like you at this, you are in your process of building, it's coming through as like building music, which is a very interesting way of describing that. Because I usually think of like you're creating music or you're, you know, I don't even know. I'm not a music creator, but it's just the wording building music. It sounds, I don't know, it sounds different. That's what this is. It sounds different. So whatever you're building that has a different quality to it, it's a different type of sound. And with this building aspect, what it's referring to is that it's like you're creating multiple different sounds that are different from what an audience would normally hear. And that's why it's catching their attention, because it's like, whoa, what is that? That's very different. And what I'm seeing is like, the building blocks. So it's like you have one building block that's a certain sound, another one that's another sound, and you have all of these different sounds that are coming through as individualized building blocks. And of course, when you put them all together, they create music. But for some reason, it's coming through as like individual sound bites that you're compiling together. And what I'm seeing here is, you see how his hands, I'm seeing you actually as you are the orchestrator of this process. Like you're building it, you're putting it all together, and it's totally like, with all of the energy that's coming out of the ears, the sound is completely encompassing you. And you might actually be like hearing different sounds and then creating that sound. It's almost like you'll just be moving about your day, perhaps. You'll hear a sound or a sequence of sounds, something like that, and then you'll create it. So there is a connection that is being established between you and, I want to say, this high priestess here. This high priestess, these two are a pair actually. The high priestess and the hierophant. They're both a very spiritually aware pairing. So it's like you're very aware that you have a connection either with your intuition, your own personal intuition, it's not coming through as like your guides or anything. This is you. So it could be also referring to your higher self, something along those lines. So your higher self, a part of you, your intuition, is bringing you, with the book that's in her hand that the high priestess is holding. It's like she's bringing you the sound bite, and she's doing that. She's relaying that message through her intuition. And then once it reaches you, you see this book. It's like this book is opening up within your mind, and you're able to distinctly hear the purity of the sound that you're meant to be creating. And so then you create it. This is the high priestess is very energetic, whereas the hierophant is more grounded. So you're pulling in sound bites from the energetic field into grounding. So you're creating a physical, something that can be witnessed by your audience. It's really gorgeous. And so your audience is actually, when you look at the entire spread, you're in the center here, and your audience, hang on one second, let me just be able to, your audience is surrounding you. Let me take my face out of it. Your audience is surrounding you. Okay. So that's what it is. It's like you are in this bubble. It's like a musical bubble, and the entire audience they're all around you, and they're trying to gain some type of access so that they can see what you're doing. I do think that you're kind of you're giving them a little bit, just a little bit, to entice them, to appease their senses. And so you're having very different reactions. You're having very different reactions with the audience members. Some of them are blown, they're blown away. They love it. They're well, they're actually both being blown away. Both of them are being blown away. There is, it's like there's two sides of your audience, kind of like how in this Six of Swords there's two sides of these waters. Some of it is really choppy, and then some of it is smooth. That could actually be even describing the music itself. Like you might have choppy parts, or parts that are very different from what we're used to sound wise, and then there's other parts that are really smooth. That's really interesting because it's actually the the combination of both of those, like moving from choppy to smooth, like, I hope that you understand what I'm saying, is like it's adding to the dynamics of the music, and that's what's making it really interesting. Okay, because your audience is experiencing this in two different ways. It's not that there are two different people within the audience. It's like this is the audience. Each of them individually is experiencing both of these energies. So when you have a lot of like the waves, the sound waves are really amplified. They're experiencing this tower, and it's coming through as like being like they're being blown away. It has a lot of amplification. It's coming through as like really loud, really loud. And it's also the way it's being presented is that it's like a introduction. It's like a very loud introduction. It's reminding me of I think his name is Tchaikovsky. Yes, I think it's Tchaikovsky. And he actually, I don't know what time period it was, but whatever time period it was, his music was ahead of the times. And he presented a number to the audience. I think it was called Spring. Okay. So if you've watched the Virgo seasonal reading, there was a lot of spring energy, and that was referring to Demeter. So Demeter is with you, and the message from Demeter was that she was helping to shower you with abundance, an abundance meaning of anything. Abundance for you, Sagittarius, could be referring to the abundance of sound bites that you're using to create something, which ultimately would lead to your harvest. Okay, so she just wanted a little shout out, I guess. Um, yeah, so that piece from Tchaikovsky was so radically different from what people had heard before that they actually it caused it kind of caused a lot of upset. It caused a lot of because oh my god, the energy and the music was so intense and amplified that it was shaking. It's like it's shaking up their foundations, and that's what's causing this tower moment. It's kind of like with this Six of Swords, it's all of these waves here that are it's rattling out the things that don't belong to this audience. I hope that makes sense on like it's coming on an energetic and healing basis. When they hear the sound, it's acting as like a sifting, and everything that doesn't belong is kind of being it's like being sifted through, and it's falling out of it's falling out of them, which even in that Virgo seasonal reading with Demeter was talking about how people are in a current process of ridding themselves of parasites. And your music is actually acting as a mechanism to help this process happen. And I think, and that's because you're coming through in a very pure state. So it's almost as if you don't have any parasites. You don't have any parasites. And the way that you know to get rid of them to help and assist other people is through your music. And what's gorgeous here is that as that rippling, the choppiness of the music goes through there, and then there's a point where in the music that it eases up. It eases up and it presents itself as this world, and it's coming through something that is it's really smooth and melodic. So you're going from two different states, and this melodic element that you're adding to the music, this melodic building block, is putting your audience in a in a very similar place to where you are. Like it's opening them up. They're being it's coming through as a liberation. They're being liberated. The music is helping to liberate them. And because of that liberation, right, from all of those parasites that were just clinging to them, they're also coming into a place of purity, pure vulnerability, and also a sense of comfort in who they are. Because I'm noticing that there are a lot of eyes, right? Just like you, there are a lot of eyes on you and the music that you're creating. And there's an interesting point here where the experience between you and the audience is almost like it's not turning tables, but turning tables. The musical element. Okay. But it's like the audience is starting to experience what you're experiencing. So they're also noticing kind of like all of the eyes on them, but it's bringing them into a place where almost like they don't care. They don't care about the eyes that are on them. They're just liberated in their purest form. It's really stunning. Okay, Sagittarius, if you found that this reading resonated with you, I will be pulling some more cards, and you can find that in the description box, and I'll see you there.